Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Ranger's Respite. I'm Philip, and this is a Whiskey Library review. Before I get into it, just really quick, if you like these videos, you like these reviews, and you like the Single Malt Frontier, and you like to support them, a great way to do that is to buy a pen. There's a link to my Etsy shop in the description down below. Proceeds from the sales of those go to support this channel and, to an extent, my involvement in the Single Malt Frontier. There's also going to be a link to a TeePublic shop with a couple of designs in it. I've got another design in the works, but it's coming out probably in the beginning of June. With all that out of the way, let's talk about the whiskey that I'm reviewing today, which is McCarthy's Oregon Single Malt Whiskey, Oloroso cask finished, 6 years old, bottled at 56% alcohol by volume or 112 proof. Beautiful stuff. Now, I really like the McCarthy's labels. I always have. I really like the little image of Multnomah Falls on them. I think it's Multnomah Falls. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's it. And I love the stuff inside the bottle. On the nose, you get that immediate burst of like that rich, peaty smoke. Doesn't have as chemical a note as some, but it's got that like rich, slightly iodine-y, slightly tarry, seaweedy smoke. It's got this rich raisiny flavor in there. A slight mineralic note, like a little bit chalky but slightly sweet. You know what I mean. A little bit of honey. And maybe it's just my nose today, but there's something like almost figgy in there, you know? I really love the nose on this. It is, sorry, I've been not talking. So there's this richness and depth to it that you wouldn't get with an Isla Dram of this age, frankly. And as much as I love like the Ardbeg Wee Beastie, which you can't see, but it's right around the corner of my shelf here. As much as I love Ardbeg's Wee Beastie, which is 5 years old, it is sort of a brash and aggressive smoke before everything else. And this is a much more refined, makes you pay attention. Don't get me wrong on that. But on the nose, it is a much more refined, more, I want to say, self-confident and well-rounded nose. On the palate, it is just a tour de force of McCarthy's flavors. That billowing, tarry, peaty smoke with that like classic Garyana oak note, which is sort of definitely an oaky note, but it's got a little bit more of like a honey or melon lean to it, and that like distinct mineralic note. And then there's that raisin and like old leather and sort of like dried fruit. Like, okay, when you were growing up, there were the like good fruit roll-ups, which are actually the bad ones in terms of like not at all healthy, mostly like sugar and chemicals. And then there were the fruit roll-ups that were fruit leather, that were like mashed up pulped fruit, like rolled out onto a sheet and dried and then cut into strips and rolled up. There's a note of that in there that's like just sort of an indistinct fruit leather note. Um, mm. And of course, there is that distinct um like towards the edges of the palate, you've got that like distinct like sort of like if you've ever gotten hit in the head really hard and you get that like sort of bitter tang on the like edges of your palate, there's some of that in there. The finish, by the way, is just, it goes on forever. One of my favorite things about McCarthy's is that Caitlin Bartlemay and Joe Sullivan, um, before he left Hood River for Minden Mill, both had a similar idea about what a peated whiskey finish should be to me, which is convenient for me because it means that I'm right about something, because they know way more than me. It is an eternal finish. It goes on and on. And on this, it's this beautiful, sweet, peaty note, this like dried raisin and leather note. And weirdly, Necco wafers. So it's sort of like one of the things that I think is really important for a whiskey is that okay, so whiskey has three parts: nose, palate, finish, and they should all be roughly in line. They can like broaden and narrow. Sorry, broaden and narrow. They can like change and morph, but there's got to be sort of like a through line that holds it all together. And this whiskey does that magnificently well. It has a nose, palate, and finish follow through that really highlights consistency and a really distinct style that it sticks to very well. I will say the towards the end of the finish, it does like sort of just become the like smoke and mineralic note that you get from McCarthy's, which I enjoy, but I have encountered people who do not enjoy it. I kind of understand that. Now, always ask and answer three questions. 1, do I enjoy it? Yes. 2, do I think it's a good value? Yes. Last time I checked, this was $99.99, which is an excellent price for an excellent whiskey. I would put this on par value-wise with a lot of the slightly step up eyelid rams, if that makes sense. So, like, while the McCarthy's 10 would go toe to toe with anything that Isla could throw at it, This dram, I believe, is more along the lines of like, one of the nicer Lafroigs or slightly nicer Ardbegs, where it's like there's more depth, more complexity, but it's not as good as a McCarthy's 10, if that makes sense. And that's not a dig against this whiskey. It's just, for the money, I think it's a good deal. And do I recommend it? Yes. So I will say, if you do not like smoky whiskey, probably not for you. If you do like smoky whiskey, this is it. This is a hell of a dram, and I recommend it. Can't recommend it enough. And it is available from the Hood River website. You can click a link in the description down below to go right to it. Also available, I may or may not put a link to it. I believe that there are a few bottles left of Single Barrel 701. Now, Single Barrel 701 is not a rum finished McCarthy's. It is McCarthy's that was aged for its entire more than 6 years in a single rum cask, which makes it almost totally unique. I'm just putting it out there. Of the two rum barrel aged McCarthy's that have hit the market, it is the superior one. Just my 2 cents. I think that covers that. So, before I forget, let's go ahead and spin the wheel. Give me just a moment. But there we go. And there's our previous. That's what we rolled last Friday. Let's see what we are reviewing this Friday. And I've got a few things that I've got to add to this wheel. Not too many, but I've just got to get it done. I haven't done it yet. Wake Robin Small Batch Rye. So this one is interesting. This is going to require the banner that this is provided for review and discussion. That's the Wake Robin bourbon. I didn't lose it. It's in my bar somewhere. Yeah. That'll be a good one. That'll be an enjoyable one because it is slightly different. What do I do with my mouse? I'm a little bit scatterbrained today, and I apologize for that. So, that's coming out on Friday. On Saturday, we have Lost Lanterns, New York Distilling Company. This is edition NYDC number 1 of the Opulent Orchard, which is a single distillery blend of whiskeys finished in apple brandy casks. Rye whiskeys finished in apple brandy casks. I'm looking forward to it. It's one that I thoroughly enjoyed. Remember, like, comment, subscribe, share this with your friends who are Pete heads. And remember, if you want to support the show, you can always buy a pen, buy a shirt or stickers from TeePublic. I think that covers everything. So, until next time, stay happy, stay geeks, slancha.